Are you frustrated by your team? Like you're like, everything is okay except my team. Do you have a team that is excited when the days are slow? Or do you have a team that at the end of the day, you're like, so what did you do? And you gave them a ton of things to do and they did all the least important things, right? If that's you, I'm going to show you today 3 ways to make your current team your dream team. How can you help your team win? Okay. All right. Now, back in the day, I had a lot of challenges with my team. Oh my goodness. And I recognize, right, like in hindsight, that the problem was really me, not my team. But, I'm like, they didn't do this, they did that. They're not, they don't seem to catch the vision. They don't seem to understand why what they do is important and all of those things. Um, and then I heard somebody talk about the people who are employees at Disney. Somebody had asked them, where do you find these people, right? At Disney, the team members are always on, they're always delivering the best service, they're cheerful, and all of these things. Like, where do you find these people? And the trainer said the same place everybody else finds people. Right. And so it's not so much the people as it is the container they find themselves in that brings out the best in them. Now, of course, there are people who would be bad hires anywhere, but there are people who are probably underperforming in your practice that if they're in a different organization, they will shine. So today we're going to talk about how you can make them shine. Okay. All right. So one of the things that I avoided doing with my entire team in the very beginning is I avoided casting the vision. I avoided casting the vision because I'm like, it's my vision. Is it really worthwhile? Is it really worthy of anybody following it? Does it really make sense? Is it powerful? Or am I just making up stuff? And so I kept the vision to myself. But this is the thing, your team members can't read minds. They cannot read minds at all. And so if you want to put them in a position where you are helping them win, you want to be a person who casts vision often. Think about it. The tasks they do are probably not inspiring. What would be inspiring would be the vision they're doing that's making them do it, right? I want you to think about it. Like, what is inspiring about answering phones if you're the front desk? What is inspiring about giving vaccines if you're MA? What is inspiring about, creating the team schedule if you're a practice administrator or a schedule manager? Like, those are not things that are inspiring. But if there's a vision thereafter, that is inspiring, right? And so, for instance, in my practice, we had a vision to provide a private practice where they got warm, friendly care. Like the people could have been family, the people serving them could have been family members, but instead they're doctors and medical assistants and all of that stuff. And we wanted to do it in such a way that we did it in a profitable way, so we can continue to serve our patients and serve our communities. We wanted to build a practice where the people who come to work with us, they experience the most personal development they've ever experienced in their lives in the practice. And so the practice makes them so different, right? And we want patients to have true partners, right? Like the parents have true partners and all of those things. So what did we do? We cast the vision a lot, right? We told them about it a lot. Think about it yourself, right? Think about a job you worked out and they cast vision and stuff like that. It doesn't take the first time. You don't buy into it the first time. And so you want to do it over and over. You want to do it at every meeting. You want to do it every time you gather. You want to do it when people did things that lined up with the vision. Like you want to keep it in front of them until you fully enroll them in that vision. Okay. So that's the first thing. And so you might go like, that's interesting, Dr. Una, but I'm not even doing meetings. And I want to challenge you, do the meetings. I want to challenge you, meet with your team. And I understand it. I ran away from it in the beginning a whole lot. But this is the thing. They can't read minds and you cannot transfer the inspiration. You cannot transfer your way of thinking. You can't transfer any of that if you're not meeting with them. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you want to help them. You want to help your team connect what they do to the vision. This is so powerful. Please hear me. If somebody, so let me give you a few examples. Okay, so somebody is a front desk person, right? They could just answer the phone, right? Like, those are the girls up front who answer the phone. They could answer the phone. Um, or they could be the person who fills up the schedule, right? So we can take care of all these patients and then the practice is profitable and all of that. You see how answering the phone, okay, filling up the schedule so we can accomplish these outcomes, that is more inspiring. Okay. You can have, oh, we're just greeting the patients. They're the girls in the front. So I'm talking about front desk stuff, right? They answer the phones and greet the patient. I just greet the patient. But the person greeting the patient is literally the director of first impressions. And if they leave a good impression, the people who come will continue to come, and tell other people like, oh my goodness, this practice is amazing. This happened, that happened. So what they do is not just greeting the patient. What they do is they're in charge of the reputation of the practice. They're in charge of the way the practice is perceived. They're in charge of a huge part of the patient experience. And if you can help them see that, it makes their work more meaningful, and it puts them in a position where they will give you their best, right? But if it's just we greet the patients, then they just greet the patients. They just do the activity. They're not thinking about the result at all. When you think about the front desk, what do we think? Oh, they're the girls up front. They answer the phone. They greet the patients. They collect the copays, right? But again, let's do some math here, okay? So let's say that you have a front desk person. I'm pulling up my calculator here. You have a front desk person, and she misses out on five, so multiple doctors. She misses out on 5 copays a day, and your average copay is $40, right? And so that's $200 a day. That's $200 a day that the practice lost out on, right? And she has one person who comes through who has an old balance that she doesn't collect every single day. And let's say that's another $200. So that's $400. Okay. Now, the $400, I want you to imagine that times 260 working days a year, that's $104,000. Do you think your front desk person knows, like, they think I'm just not collecting the copay? Does it occur to them that this practice could actually have 6 figures more in revenue if she did her job? You see what I'm saying? Like, so if you don't help them connect it, then they don't give you their best. They don't know the ripple effect of their work. They don't know the impact of their work. So they think, I just answer the phone, I greet the people, I collect the copay. And if I do it, it's great. If I don't do it, it doesn't matter. No, you have to let them know how it matters, right? And we just talked about one role. This is the front desk. If they understand, wow, when the phone rings, I'm either serving a patient of ours or I'm getting an appointment booked and stuff like that. And my role makes sure the schedule is full of people that we can serve, and we end up staying profitable even in this, healthcare space we find ourselves in, right? And I greet the people, and because of the way I greet them, they come back. When they see a patient come back, they need to go like, wow, I wonder if it's because of the way I greeted them the other day, right? And then they're collecting the copays, and they're like, the reason we are still able to pay the mortgage here, the reason we're still able to make payroll, because I do a good job of collecting my copays, right? So think about how different that is. Think about how empowering that is. Think about the way they'll think about their role differently, right? Okay. And then the third thing, so the first is casting the vision. The second is helping them connect, make the connection between what they do and the vision. And then the third is feedback. Now, the feedback, at my core, I'm phlegmatic, and flags, they just avoid conflict. That's kind of what they do. That's my natural bent. But one of the things I had to learn as an entrepreneur is to embrace conflict, right? Like, so when I think about feedback and evaluations and all, I'm just like, "Ugh, I don't want to do it." But the truth of the matter is there's no way to have champions without it. And so what does that mean in this context? Well, feedback, I'll talk about it in 2 ways. The first way is that you want to celebrate them. So for instance, for the front desk person, if they were collecting, their collections were maybe at 60%, that's how much of your money they were collecting, and they go to 85%, don't say, oh, there's 15% more to go, like, to lead with, but celebrate, like, oh my goodness, this is where we are, look at how good you're doing, right? If you start seeing all these Google reviews, and they're like, oh, your staff, they're so pleasant and all of those things, bring it and celebrate. Say, team, the work you're doing is working. Like, this is amazing, right? If you see that, your schedule is fuller because now they're paying attention to filling up the schedule, not saying, oh, our next appointment is in 2 weeks when you have something next week, right? They're doing all of those things. You want to celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Let them know what they're doing right. Let them know what the things they're doing that are tied to the vision that they're doing. Celebrate them. Why? What gets celebrated gets repeated. That's just the way it works, right? But then on the flip side, you also want to show them the areas of improvement. Call them out. Don't be afraid to. And tell them there's no problem. You're not a problem, but we got this problem and together we can fix it, right? And so if their activities they're supposed to do and they're not getting them done, right? You've already shown them the connection. Now it's time to hold them accountable. See, accountability, I was listening to someone who, I mean, this person runs a multiple very successful seven-figure businesses. And she was talking about the power of a coach because now she started working out. And she's like, I would not have done any of the things I did today if not for my coach. And this is somebody who clearly has self-discipline. You don't run multiple seven-figure companies without discipline. Clearly, she has discipline. But this is a different area of life. What made her work out in a way she never thought she'd work out? Accountability. What will make your team show up in a way they have never shown up? Accountability. Right? So it's a gift that you give them. You're not bothering them. They may act that way in the moment, but you're not bothering them. You're helping them become the best version of themselves, and they'll thank you for it later. Okay? So what do I want you to do? If you've been running away from casting vision, now's the time. If your team has no idea how what they do moves the vision forward, moves the results you want to accomplish, how it's creating those results, you want to start educating them. And it may take them a minute, but you want to start doing that. And you want to keep that feedback loop open. You want to celebrate them and you want to show them where they can improve. Celebrate them, show them what they can improve. Now, I started doing this and it's made such a huge difference. My company for the most part is team led, my private practice. And it's beautiful to see because they get it, they understand it, right? One of the things we did to help people do that is we got them involved in tracking the results, right? And so we have a software that we use that is called Practice Pilot. And it tracks a number of metrics, which again, you want to show your people the connection between what they do and these metrics, what they do and the goal, what they do and the vision, right? And so it tracks these metrics, your revenue, your AR, your patient volume, and all of those things. But this is the thing. We set it up in such a way that it's the team that puts in the data. They enter the data. So maybe they think of their role as answering the phones, but every day they have to put in the software how many patients we're seeing. You have to put in the software how many patients are on the schedule tomorrow. They have to do that. And so it gives them that immediate feedback loop that, yes, you were answering the phones, but we didn't accomplish this here. This thing we were trying to do over here, right? When it comes to the AR, they get to see that the personal AR is climbing. And they're like, oh, I'm supposed to be collecting the copays. And I thought I was collecting copays all day long. But over here, the number outstanding is growing. So clearly, I'm not connecting. So it's almost like coaching for the team in real time, right? And so not only are you in a position where you have your vision, your goals, your metrics top of mind, but your team has that too. Because guess what? When they look at that, they can immediately say, I could have done this differently. I could have done this piece differently without you even needing to say anything. So I want you to try it out. You can get a 14-day free trial. It's called Practice Pilot. So practicepilot.io, and you can get a 14-day free trial. Have your team, like once you do your part as the owner, have them set up the rest, have them start tracking the data every day and watch and see how you have not just a team that's clocking in and clocking out, but you now have a team that is strategic and is making data-driven decisions. Now that, my friend, is called private practice heaven. Okay, so I'm rooting for you. I am so grateful that you are taking a look at all of these metrics for your practice and how to get your team to go from current team to dream team, to get them to think strategically, to get them to make decisions in real time, to correct their behavior based on the results that you're seeing. When you do this, what you do is you really have a team that is a dream team and true partners with what you do, which is what I wish for you. Okay. All right. So now that you've watched this, the very next video that will make sense for you to watch is this video, how to decrease your biggest overhead expense. See you on the other side.